Have you ever felt your inner strength silently diminish, your spirit slowly drained, all because of someone you once trusted? What if the very people closest to you are engaged in a subtle yet strategic assault on your well-being? These behaviors erode your dignity, drain your energy, and compromise your peace. Machiavellian wisdom teaches us to protect our position and power, not just in politics, but vitally in every personal relationship. This isn't just about discomfort. It's about reclaiming your strategic standing in your own life. Are you ready to understand these hidden threats and fortify your defenses? If so, hit that subscribe button for Skyward Synergy now and join our community dedicated to strategic self-mastery. First, we must confront the corrosive presence of disrespect. This isn't merely a difference of opinion or a casual disagreement. It manifests as a dismissive tone, a constant stream of outright insults, or a pervasive attitude that treats you as inherently inferior. It's the subtle jab disguised as humor, the dismissive eye roll during your most serious moments, or the laughter at your expense that makes you question your own value. Tolerating disrespect sends an undeniable signal that your worth is negotiable, that your boundaries are permeable. Your dignity demands you draw a firm line here. Machiavelli would remind you that a leader, and you are the leader of your own life, cannot afford to be seen as weak or easily diminished. To allow disrespect is to surrender a crucial aspect of your personal power, inviting further erosion of your strategic standing. Refuse to let others define your worth. Next, we delve into the dark art of manipulation. This is the insidious use of guilt, fear, or obligation to control your actions and dictate your choices. It's the classic, "If you really loved me, you would" phrase, weaponizing your deepest affections against you. It's the silent treatment, designed not to communicate but to punish and extract compliance, or the clever gaslighting that makes you doubt your own motives, pushing you into actions you never intended. Your energy is your most precious resource, and manipulation is a direct theft of your autonomy, a parasitic drain on your emotional and mental reserves. Recognizing these tactics for what they are, a calculated attempt to hijack your will, is the first critical step to fortifying your defenses. To permit manipulation is to willingly concede control over your own narrative and your own decisions, a strategic error that leaves you vulnerable and disempowered. Third, and perhaps one of the most psychologically damaging, is gaslighting. This cruel tactic makes you question your very reality, your memory, or your most fundamental emotions. That never happened, they'll assert, even when you have clear recollection. You're too sensitive, they'll dismiss, invalidating your genuine feelings. You're imagining things, they'll insist, attempting to convince you that your own perceptions are flawed or even delusional. This is not just a disagreement. It is an attack on your sanity, a calculated effort to destabilize your internal compass and sever your trust in your own mind. Your peace depends on the unwavering trust in your own perception, in your ability to discern truth from falsehood. Never let anyone convince you that your reality is false, for to do so is to hand over the keys to your mental fortitude, leaving you adrift and unable to protect your own interests. Fourth, beware the relentless barrage of constant criticism. This is far beyond constructive feedback aimed at growth. It is habitual fault-finding, often thinly disguised as help, concern, or brutal honesty. Every idea you propose, every choice you make, every success you achieve is met with negativity, a subtle put-down, or a fatal flaw highlighted. This drains your creative spirit, extinguishes your enthusiasm, and makes you hesitant to act or innovate. It creates an environment where you are constantly defending yourself, rather than building. Your energy should be directed towards growth, creation, and progress, not wasted deflecting an endless barrage of judgment. Machiavelli observed that a ruler must inspire confidence, not erode it. Allowing constant criticism from others saps your self-confidence, making you less effective in your own pursuits and weakening your ability to project strength. Fifth, we confront the corrosive nature of entitlement. This is the audacious expectation of your time, your money, your energy, or your resources without any gratitude reciprocity, or even asking. They believe they are owed, simply because of their position in your life, be it family, friend, or colleague. This is a one-way street, a constant drain that leaves you depleted, devalued, and resentful. Your resources are yours to allocate, a direct reflection of your power and autonomy, not theirs to demand or presume. To accept this pattern is to allow another to claim ownership over your hard-earned assets and time, diminishing your ability to invest in your own future and well-being. Strategically, it's a profound misallocation of your personal capital and a signal that your boundaries around your resources are weak. Sixth, consider the insidious harm of neglect. This isn't always overt hostility. Sometimes it's the deafening silence of being ignored, the profound absence of care. It manifests as a consistent disregard for your emotional needs, treating you as invisible, or conveniently forgetting your significant moments. You express a vulnerability, share a dream, or voice a concern, and it's met with a blank stare, a dismissive shrug, or an immediate change of subject. This sustained lack of acknowledgement erodes your sense of belonging, chips away at your self-worth, and leaves you feeling isolated even in their presence. Your dignity requires acknowledgement and care, a reciprocal investment in the relationship. Allowing yourself to be neglected is to permit others to define your significance downwards, a strategic mistake that weakens your emotional foundation and makes you question your own value. Seventh, we expose the poison of jealousy and sabotage. This is when your success, your happiness, or your personal growth is not celebrated but actively undermined out of envy or insecurity. It might be a backhanded compliment that subtly diminishes your achievement, a thinly veiled attempt to deter you from pursuing a promising goal, or even actively working against your progress behind the scenes. True allies celebrate your victories, champion your ambitions, and lift you higher. Those who harbor jealousy, however, see your light as a threat to their own perceived standing. Protect your ambitions fiercely, for those who seek to sabotage your path are not partners, but adversaries in your journey toward self-mastery. To allow such insidious forces to fester is to invite an enemy into your inner circle, jeopardizing your strategic advancement. Eighth, let us examine the suffocating grip of control. This is the behavior of dictating your choices, your relationships, your lifestyle, or even your thoughts. They believe they have an inherent right to decide what is best for you, overriding your autonomy with their will. This strips you of your personal agency, suffocating your ability to forge your own path, make your own mistakes, and learn your own lessons. It reduces you from an independent, sovereign individual to a pawn in someone else's game. Your power is yours alone to wield. Your life is yours alone to design. To concede control is to abandon the most fundamental aspect of your strategic independence, placing your destiny in the hands of another and becoming subservient to their agenda. Ninth, confront the profound issue of a lack of accountability. This manifests as a stubborn refusal to admit mistakes, to take responsibility for harmful actions, or to offer sincere apologies. Every failing is deftly deflected onto someone else. Every conflict is conveniently blamed on your misinterpretation or sensitivity. This creates an environment where growth is impossible, where problems fester, and where trust is shattered beyond repair. Your peace requires honesty, integrity, and the willingness to repair breaches in the relationship. When someone consistently refuses to be accountable, they demonstrate a profound disrespect for you and the relationship itself. Strategically, this behavior means you are dealing with an unreliable actor, someone who cannot be trusted to uphold their end of any agreement, implicitly or explicitly, leaving you vulnerable to repeated harm. And finally, 10th, we address the critical breach of boundary violations. This is the repeated crossing of lines you have clearly set, whether emotional, physical, financial, or temporal, or you say no, and they push harder. You state a limit, and they ignore it or worse, scoff at it. This demonstrates a profound lack of respect for your personhood, your declared limits, and your autonomy. It is not merely an inconvenience. It is a systematic assault on your personal sovereignty. Your boundaries are the fortifications of your personal domain. Machiavellian insight reminds us that power begins with self-respect, and self-respect demands the clear articulation and unwavering enforcement of your boundaries. Tolerating these insidious toxic behaviors, even from family, especially from family, weakens your strategic position, invites further disrespect, and fundamentally compromises your peace. It is a profound strategic error to allow such inroads into your personal fortress. Now is the time to apply Machiavellian wisdom, not to empire building in the traditional sense, but to the most vital empire of all, your self-preservation and personal power. Power begins with self-respect. Tolerating toxic behavior from anyone weakens your position and invites further disrespect. It's time to identify these energy leaks. Set your boundaries with unwavering resolve and enforce them without apology. Cultivate only those relationships that truly uplift you, that honor your dignity, and that contribute to your peace. Remember, your personal power is your most valuable asset, the foundation of your strategic strength. Protect it fiercely, for it is the key to a life of true autonomy and fulfillment. If this message resonated with you, show your support by liking this video. Share it with someone who needs to hear this urgent truth, and subscribe to Skyward Synergy for more insights on building a life of strategic strength and self-mastery.